Have you ever met someone and immediately trusted them? You didn't know why, but you just did. And then on the flip side, has there ever been someone that everyone else told you, this is a great guy or great girl, you can trust them, everything's fine. But like for some reason, you just, oof, it never quite resonated. And you might have gone along and you might have pretended, but you always knew there was something wrong there, or you were always waiting for the shoe to drop. There's a reason for that. Let's dive into it because I want you to learn that you can actually trust yourself and what you're feeling in these moments because there's something specific that you're feeling. It's a curious thing how you can like someone, find them very likable, very charming and attractive and interesting, and yet there's this little sensation, I don't trust them for some reason. And a lot of times we'll talk ourselves out of that feeling. But when you feel that way, what's happening is that you're actually sensing an energetic gap, a lack of congruence between their projection, what they want you to think of them, and who they actually believe themselves to be. The bigger the gap between those two things, and the more unsettled you're going to feel in their presence until that gap closes and they become energetically congruent and authentic. Another way of thinking of this is I bet all of us know a person we don't particularly like. We don't love spending lots of time around them, and yet you know they're trustworthy. You feel pretty certain you can guess the way they'll behave or respond in a given scenario, and like it or not, you know their values match what they've been telling you. There is a sense of trust there. So I want to encourage you, we talk ourselves out of knowing the things we know because we can't explain, like, what is it I saw? What is it I feel? What's happening specifically that I could say to someone else that makes it okay, like allowable for me to feel how I feel about this person? But I want to encourage you just to understand what's happening here. Our energy announces us the moment we walk into a space. Before you ever say a word, before you interact with any other people, you can be felt by your energy. The heart literally creates an electromagnetic field that extends out beyond you, and we can see that on cameras and recordings. It's really cool if you want to nerd out on it online. But beyond that, you can feel it. This is a real thing that happens. You have an entire neural network in your heart for a reason, and another one in your gut, interestingly. There's three: brain, heart, gut. Western science is discovering this now. So when it comes down to how you feel about a person, the fact that you don't understand it here doesn't make it less real if you're feeling it here or down in your gut. And what you're seeing, it's not necessarily, doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't even mean they're an entirely unsafe person. It does mean that you're experiencing a real gap between who they're projecting, who they want you to think they are, and how they actually feel about themselves. That's the kind of thing that can show up with predatory type people, with toxic type people. It can also show up with insecure people, with folks who've had trauma or low self-esteem. So you're noticing a gap in how they feel internally versus what they want you to see. So that means it doesn't necessarily mean they're unsafe. That's something you need to watch and pay attention to. But I want to encourage you not to gaslight yourself, not to tell yourself that you don't feel or don't know what you do know, because the reality is you're picking up on real things. When you feel immediately with someone, either that feeling of, I can trust them, they are solid, or that feeling of, ooh, something feels a little jittery, something feels a little bit off, and I just don't know about this person. That's what you're feeling. It's the gap in between. As that closes, you'll find your feelings about that person change significantly if they do the work to heal themselves. I hope this has been helpful for you, my loves. Have yourselves a powerful week.